Hello. Okay, in 1 minute, I'm going to chat AC Toy because I can't see them on to invite them. So, 1 minute. What'd you say? Do you think she's here? Oh, there she is. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Okay. I'm happy that we're finally
Help
getting
me.
together. Finally. Okay. So I am going to start the introduction. We are not going to have an ASL interpreter tonight. I will be voicing for Desi. So I'll be voice interpreting for Desi and then simcomming for myself.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm KT James. My short name is Carrie. Um, I'm hard of hearing. I have hearing aids. I actually have them in tonight. Normally for lives I don't, since Desi just signed, so I don't have to like hear, but I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So it's kind of funny. Um, but I'm so happy that we can do this. And then I will let Desi introduce herself, and um, then we will have you do your own, or we can try to introduce you. It just depends on what you want to do.
I'm flexible.
Okay. Desi. Hello, I am Desiree, Desi. My sign name is this, and I am deaf. I am going to be voice off and signing only, and Carrie will be voicing interpreting for me. And tonight we do have a special guest who is.
Hi, I'm Olivia, and my sign name is the @ symbol on the computer. I am an author who wrote this book. Um, I am hard of hearing. I use hearing aids. Mostly I just sign though because I don't like hearing aids, but whatever. But yeah, I'm happy to be here and finally be with you guys.
Yes, and so we do have, and Desi and I, we co-host the Definitely Readers Book Club. So for March of this year, we read the Daisy Chain Reaction because it has two, well, one deaf character and one hard of hearing character. I would term Cam as hard of hearing. I think he identifies that way too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in the second book, his hearing goes down worse and he
Ooh.
changes to identifying as deaf. But in the first book, he's hard of hearing and we're going to just slowly lose it.
Oh, okay. So Desi did have that question, but you already answered. So that's exciting. So we
I'm
do
catching
we
up.
we read it in March and we did some analyzation and just discussed like the book itself and how excited we were to read it and seeing deaf representation. So we contacted AC Toy. You said it was Olivia? Okay. And we reached out to see if we could do an author interview. So we have a few questions about your book specifically, and then some questions about your life, like your author life, or hobbies, that kind of thing. And so it's just going to be just kind of chill. You can answer. So Desi and I will just be taking turns. And if we see a question pop up, we'll ask that question too. Which reminds me, I need to pull up the questions. So Desi, do you want to start? You want to go ahead and start? Sure. So I will start the questions. First of all, if you have not read it, please go ahead and read it. Go get it. Yes, go now. It's really, we read this with definitely Readers Book Club, and I was just like, oh, it really has a deaf side character, yes, but it is still important. She is still important, and it was really heart touching. I want to ask you what inspired you to write this book and why did you have deaf representations, deaf characters? Why?
Yeah, so my book, I got the idea when my sister, my fleshly sister, and then my adopted sister, we're like this, like true biz together, like in the book.
Real
And so I
life.
had this idea that I was like, if I was in this situation, how would I feel? What would happen? Because I myself struggle with my mental health. So I was like, how would I feel if I was in this situation? If I felt like I was going crazy, what would I do? And so that's why I wrote it. And then I am hard of hearing, and I've been in the deaf community for almost 9 years now. And it felt really important for me to see a deaf and a hard of hearing character in my book. I've read a few books that have deaf characters, and some are amazing. Others I feel like that didn't match the culture. It didn't match how I feel as a hard of hearing person, and I wanted to write what matched my friends' experience, what matched my experience, because I have many deaf friends here in Phoenix, and I wanted something that matched them. And now they've read it and they're like, that matched perfect. I would listen to their stories about their childhood and how they felt when their families didn't sign and how they felt like alone. And I wanted to show that in the book clearly. And then in the second one, I'm going deeper. We're going to go deep into Violet's story. So I'm very excited to explore that more.
Okay, so I have two questions, if you don't mind, Desi. Um, a follow up about so Violet's story. Since she's fully deaf, and she is voice off, so will most of the book be in sign language then? Like, will you have most of the book, wow, the book written that way?
Yes, so I have different point of views in the
Okay.
book. Um, three are going to be from deaf people, and one is going to be from an interpreter.
Okay.
So, Violet is going to be talking herself, so we're going to see how she sees the world. Cam is going to see his perspective. So I'm very excited to show that because it's going to go more deep into how she feels as a deaf person and how the world revolves around her. So I'm excited to go deeper into that.
I'm excited too. So we're really looking forward to the second book. I know I don't want to talk too much and spoil it. We understand about that. But I do want to back up. So you discussed about Violet herself and deaf sister and having a hard life. So whew, that really touched my heart. And her father doesn't sign, and I could really relate with that because I'm the only one deaf in my family. And wow. So that story, where was that part from?
So it was partly my experience and partly I have a deaf friend that's her experience. Her parents don't sign, they don't communicate, nothing. But for me, when I started losing my hearing, I told my family like, "Hey, I'm gonna go deaf. I need sign." My husband fast learned. My sister, my best friend, all started learning. My parents, my grandparents, nothing. And I will go to family dinners, and we're sitting around, and it's loud,
Yes.
and I can't hear what they're saying. So my husband and my sister are sitting there interpreting for me, and I'm like,
Wow.
I feel behind. And that
Hmm.
feeling is hard to explain to hearing people. Like,
Oh,
yes, someone is
yes.
interpreting for me, but I am behind. I don't understand at the same speed as everyone else. And it feels very lonely. And I wanted that in my book. I wanted it to be clear that that's how Violet felt. And I'm so happy that people like relate to her story because I think it's really important that hearing people see that deaf experience.
Yes. That. And both of us, the relationship to the sisters and May, how they communicated with each other and their signing, it was really fun and funny. And that brings up Carrie's next question about the ASL slang. Yeah, so the ASL slang. So your book was the first one that we both have seen ASL slang in the book, and like I mean, it was amazing. We were chatting, like texting each other, and I was just like, what? There's like slang in the book. So what was the thought process like behind using slang? Do you use it every day yourself? I'm sure you do, like we both do, but like you I know you wanted to show like authentic deaf characters, but again, most people don't add that. Like they don't include that, and it was just really cool. So I would like to know some of the thought processes behind it.
Yeah, I love deaf slang. I love it. I first was taught, my friend Caleb, he was born deaf and he signs better than any person I know. Like he is so skilled. And he said, if you want to be a true biz deaf, you must know our slang. And I was like, okay, I will learn. And then I loved it, and now I use it true biz every day.
Every day. Yeah. It was really cool, and that like as soon as we saw that in the book, we were just like, you can clearly see is written by a person who is involved in the deaf community, who's hard of hearing or deaf themselves, because again, most people don't include it. And I will say, like, since we started this specific book club, we have found more books than we expected that has deaf and hard of hearing characters. Some are, you said it, they're okay, they're not great, and some are really good. And it's interesting. Since we started it, we've read some books back, and we're like, oh, like now we have a better idea of what we want to do. And I know that I'm my goal is to be a published author too, and I'm editing my debut book, and it's full of deaf and hard of hearing characters and my experiences and experiences of people around me. Um, but I had never thought about like adding that part because I had never seen it before, and now I was like, oh, I love that. So it's really cool to see another author do that. So also, not only ASL slang, but more like deaf humor. And I just like got it and was understand. Like I felt like if a hearing person read it, they'd go like, "What does that mean?" And then I did like how you added in the front of the book what it means, the slang terms in the very front about what everything meant. Yeah. Yeah. And so they could really look and see like so yeah, so they wouldn't miss it and not like misunderstand what you were saying.
Yeah, I it's like normal conversation for me now. So it actually was not until I had beta readers that I decided to add the list in, because I thought, oh, that's just normal conversation. And then some of the hearing people who are not in the deaf community were like, what does that mean? I don't understand. And I'm like,
Oh.
oh, I need to fix that. So I added the list that explained what each meant. And I really wanted it to clearly match the deaf world. Many of my deaf friends have read it and they're like, oh, it matches perfect. And that was the whole goal. And I feel like when I sent it to my editor, I had more like ASL sentence structure, because
Sure.
that's how my brain thinks. So I was like, when they were talking, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. And then it wouldn't be English. It would then change to like ASL structure. And my my editor was like, I don't think you should keep that because it sounds a little bit like dumb. Now I wish I had kept it. Like looking back, I feel
Uh-huh.
like I edited it too much and it feels not connecting to the way that deaf people talk and how they say things. So in my next book, I'm planning to keep more, not all, but keep more of the sentence structure the same, because that touches my heart. Like I
Yeah.
feel more confident when I'm using the ASL structure than the English. And I feel like Violet, or not Violet, Violet would feel the same.
Um, so it's interesting you say that in the book that I'm writing, the girls who there's four girls and two of them are very, very hearing raised, but they're deaf. And so they simcom because their family doesn't sign. And then there's another girl and she's full ASL and I've struggled with do I use ASL like grammar or do I keep it English for the readers? Um, so my question actually had been if you could rewrite it or change anything, what would you do? Um,
Yeah, I would
you can
for
answer a
sure.
different thing, but yeah.
No, I would change that because I feel like it's more natural, the conversation, if it was written to match how I would sign it. I think it would be more natural. And then I would also change, which was something the editor had suggested, was I had the ASL lines a different, like letters, like the font was
Okay.
different, but the editor felt like it broke up the conversation, like switching between like sign and English talking. Now looking back, I wish I had just kept it
It's
because
clever.
I liked it being like, oh, ASL means it's bold and English talking means normal. And now I wish I had kept that and not changed it because I feel like it would have been more clear who was signing. So that's something I'm also planning in the second book. And I'm possibly thinking about re-releasing the first book with more of the ASL things I
Okay.
had planned before and see if like a Deafy version would work.
I I will buy it. So you have two people who would buy that. Yeah, that's actually specifically, and Desi can she can agree, but that's something that we've discussed that seeing the signs as a different way, like italics or bold, is typically we prefer that because we understand immediately who's signing. And at the beginning of the book, you could add that, signing is shown in italics or bold or a different font. Um, Desi, did you want to go with the next question? Yes. So before the next question, I do want to say that yes, the process of being a lot with the author and with the editor, there are some people who don't have their own opinions, but it is your book, and I think that it doesn't look good. But you're right. You should go with your gut feeling and I look forward to your second book and that you're keeping that in and hearing people and hearing editors that, hey, this is deaf representation. This is how we communicate. So I'm applauding you for that. Okay, but my next question. 1 minute. Where's my paper? Hmm. This book did mention about the pandemic, and that part was whoo, the memories of looking back. At that time, it was weird for all of us. So, when you included that book, I'm curious about why you included that.
So I think that experience was the worst time for everyone. And it was just awful. And that was like a changing point in my life because my hearing got worse, my health got worse, everything just kind of like. And through COVID is when I got the idea for the book.
Okay.
And before COVID was not in the book. And I decided I wanted something that felt like emotional that people could connect to.
Yeah.
And so in the second book, we go more into May's experience through COVID in China. So I had to do a lot of research for that, but I wanted that like impactful, like, wow, I remember feeling that way. I remember feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. Like that's what I wanted in there. So that's why I included it because I wanted it to be very emotional.
Exactly. It's very emotional. You were clear on that. So it's interesting because of COVID. In your book, with Thorn, and is that
Mm-hmm.
his side name, Thorn? Um, with him, she didn't recognize him because of his hair color changing, and because she was, I, and Desi's gonna have to correct me on the sign for the locked in syndrome, or not system syndrome. Okay, locked in syndrome. Um, Oh, I lost my train of thought. But because of that, because she was basically stuck in her past, remembering everything before, she didn't recognize him. And so, and that's how it was. Like in COVID, I started dyeing my hair because I was bored, right? So there was things that you did because of not being able to hang out with people, and you like picked up like hobbies or different things, and you like people they changed. And so seeing that in the book, it was very powerful. But talking about locked in syndrome, do you know someone like who has that? Like what why I guess why are you bringing like light or spotlight on that?
So I don't know anyone personally, but I had experience like almost 10 years ago. I had been in a car accident and I lost my ability to speak like sentences.
Wow.
And I didn't know sign at that time. So I felt so lost because I couldn't communicate. And I was going to therapy to try to like learn to talk sentences again. And that was awful. And I was like researching other health problems. And I found this locked in syndrome. And I was like, wow, that is awful because it's from trauma. like, and it gets worse. And I felt like, that's terrible. And then during the time when I decided I wanted to write a book, here in Arizona, we had on the news a woman died because her family was not taking care of her, and she had locked-in syndrome. And that broke my heart because she couldn't talk, she couldn't take care of herself. She depended on her family and they didn't care. And so I had like this idea that I wanted to her story tell it, but people love her, people take care of her so that she didn't have to die, because that just broke my heart. And that really influenced the story to match that woman. And I still think about her, like, now it's been 3 years since she died, but I still, like, I'll start crying because I'm like, that's so sad that your family didn't care, and just like, oh, I hate it. But that's what caused me to want to write that.
Okay. So the daisy chain reaction is really full of real experiences in your life, your friend's life, and whew, that makes me love this book even more. And it's very emotional roller coaster reading this, and it feels like what's actually happening next? And it made me keep going back and forth, and I was wrong every time until the last one was just awful. It was, I'm not laughing. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that traumatic experience that you included in this book, whew, I feel I really love this character, and I feel like I was in their world. You wrote it amazing.
I'm so happy to hear that. My goal was for people to read the book and feel like, oh, that's me. There are many points from my real life. For example, um, Dr. Weiss, um, my adopted sister, that's her mom who died. That Joy Weiss, that's her mom, and she died a few years ago. And it helps her get through, like, her memory of her mom helps her get through everything. And so that's why
Wow.
I wanted her mom's name to be the person that helps Rose, like, through it all. And so when she read my book, she's like crying, and she texted me, she's like, I hate you, you broke my heart again. And I'm like,
So you did discuss that the daisy chain, the girls, like all three of them. You had Rose, Violet, and May, and that was your sister, you, and your adopted sister. So most of the experiences are from your experiences specifically. That's really
yeah,
cool. Do you
the
have
three
a like
of
a
them.
fine name yourself?
Um, well, now we've adopted the daisy chain. All of our chats have changed to that.
Oh, fun.
Before that, we had the name Trauma Troopers, because life is hard, and so that was like our
Sure.
joke. But now we've changed it to match the daisy chain because they read it and felt like, oh, that matches perfectly. So, but yeah,
Did they
that's
help
us.
you with the characters' names?
um, so the character names are actually because I had the idea for Kayla's mom to be Dr. Weiss, and her name, I believe in German, means flower people.
Oh, okay.
And so that name, using her mom's name, Joy Weiss, that was like for everything. I was like, oh, flower people. Well, now I want rose. I want violet. May means plum blossom. Thorn
Okay.
is thorn.
Yeah.
But I wanted everything to just connect together.
Okay. Yeah. I did see the connections, and it was really good symbolism, like the connections. It was really great. So you wrote all of these characters, and I think we have a question about the characters. Surprise? Um, uh, you can. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry. We had talked before about specific questions we did want to ask, so that was why she said that. But like, I forgot. So what was the most surprising thing you learned while writing your book? That question? Yeah. Okay.
Uh, I had to learn a lot of medical information. That was crazy because I wanted it to be accurate. So that was a lot of research. But I think it's crazy how much emotions go into writing. Like, still, when I talk about, or now I'm writing the second book, I will get so emotional and start crying about these fake characters that I've invented.
The second book is
Oh,
emotional too. Oh no.
I think worse emotional.
I do think, Desi, we might connect like even more because of there will be a lot more death experiences in that book. So it'll be very emotional.
Yeah, there's one chapter in the second book that I think will very impact deaf people who read it, because I stole it from a friend's experience when we were at a McDonald's, and a hearing person who doesn't know anything about deaf culture decided to say something. And I stole that and put it in my book because I felt like it was important to say. And I was writing it and I started crying because I got angry and then brokenhearted that it even happened. But I love that chapter in the book.
I guess we need to get ready for the tissues and read it while we have the tissues. Okay.
That.
Well, we'll just like we'll keep that in the back of our mind to make sure we have tissues. There have been a few comments. So it said what someone said like when you release it again with the deaf writing, it'll be 75% more deafy. So I thought that was funny. Um, and then there's a lot of like hidden Easter eggs, and that's amazing about having the names all connect with flowers and your friend's mom. Um, but there was a lot. There's just been a few comments, so yeah. But I just want to people are excited about seeing more deaf representation. So yay, right?
Yes. I'm very excited for that. When I started writing it, I was surprised. I was like researching how people write deaf characters, how they put ASL in their books, and there's nothing. The answer is nowhere. People haven't put true biz like deaf culture, deaf sign in books.
True.
And so there's nothing to like copy because I thought, oh, well, maybe if a deaf person wrote, I could just like copy their style. There's nothing
No.
there.
Yes,
So it was
exactly
really
that.
inventing during the process of writing because I had nothing to like look and be like, oh, I'm going to take that.
I
Nothing.
will remind me. I will send you. I did find a blog post, one blog post It is written by a hard of hearing author, Laura Brown, and just discussing like how to really show representation and all the different ways you can, but it's up to you to decide, like make your decisions like when you're writing, but get a deaf sensitivity reader. But literally found one, and I have been like searching for like 5 years now on how can I best write like my story to make it where hearing people can understand but also feel a connection to the deaf characters and keep it true to deaf representation. So I'm really excited that we do have your book to add to the list of like that has really great deaf representation and authentic deaf representation. It's really important when we're reading through the list that we have that if it doesn't actually fit, it's deleted off because it's not. We don't want to recommend something that's not real.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
When I first started getting involved in the deaf culture, I tried to read a few books that were popular that had deaf characters. And one thing I hated was when they had like the deaf person depending on hearing people, or they felt like weaker or less. And I
yeah,
hated that. I wanted independent deaf people. I wanted deaf people that can do everything themselves. That
they're
if
normal
someone's
people.
interpreting, that's cool, but they can also themselves take care of themselves. They don't need to depend on everyone else. And that's what I wanted clear, that Violet is her own person. She has her own personality. She is independent. She can do anything she wants. And that was the goal.
Good. Oh, there was just a comment that was wanted to ask AC if you've read "Give Me a Sign" by Anna Sorrentino. It is a young adult book.
I haven't, but my sister has read it, so it's on my list. My
It is
sister,
good. It's cute.
she liked it. She said it felt a little bit, um, yeah, young. So she didn't feel like connected, but she did say it was at least good ASL representation.
So she actually has a second book now. I think it's on the bright side, and I think that one is more adult. It's not specifically YA. So maybe it'll be older feeling on the writing. So maybe I don't know. I haven't read it yet. It's on my list, but I would agree with your sister. Yes, it it did feel it felt YA. Some books that are young adult you can connect with reading now, like as an adult, but some just it really felt more middle grade.
That.
Yeah. Desi had a question. So back to what you were commenting and saying about you were searching and reading and you just felt like deaf characters are not strong. Like they're not deaf pride. That kind of thing. It's more like, oh, timid. We've read and same. Like we felt the same thing. We read very, very the no voice and they're very timid and that, but we wanted to have more deaf pride and that kind of thing. So we do feel like this book, it really shows this. And I love, yes. I love that this character is really uh showing her strength and also showing her weakness at the same time, but supporting each other. And she's not, they're not putting people down, but they're supporting and uplifting. And I wanted to comment and mention that one of my favorite parts of this book is Champ, the wedding. Uh, Yes, having it only in sign because that would really connect with my husband. My husband is hearing and I'm deaf. So on our wedding day, he surprised me and he was voice off and signed. And I was just like, oh, they both signed. And they had an ASL interpreter for the hearing audience. And it's just, that was my favorite part. I was wondering about your favorite, what you wrote, what was your favorite part of what you wrote?
Um, my favorite part, I have a few, but I think my favorite would be at May's family's restaurant when they have like the family dinner and they're all sitting around and Rose is shocked because Thorn can sign.
Right?
That matches my friends perfectly. Like the banter, the teasing, like that matched
Aw.
perfectly my friends. When Cam said, oh, let's go to Gallagher's, and Violet like fast catches and I'm not going there. That's True Briz, a restaurant that my sister hates but her husband loves. And so he's always suggesting, like, let's go to Gallagher's. And we're like, no, we're
No.
not going there. So that whole chapter and her feeling like, wow, this feels comfortable, but also I'm confused because I don't understand how I got here. Like, how did this happen? Why is Thorn signing so good? Like, that confusion,
That was
I
so good.
I loved writing that.
I will say I this is not deaf like representation or anything, but I did love how when she felt like okay, and later I realize the reason behind it. Um, but the Morse code and learning how to do it, and then so she's already knows English and then sign language, and then she's adding in the Morse code. No, it's not a full language, but a different way to communicate, and how you showed that too, and specifically like how Thorn asked her to marry him, and that was I did really like that, and then I did realize reason why she was learning it was with Thorn, and then she used that like when she was locked in with her eyes instead of like tapping. So I thought that was cool.
Thank you. I loved putting that in there. I don't know Morse code. I don't know
Okay.
it. That was
I
all
don't either.
research because that's like if a person with locked in syndrome doesn't have money, um that's how they communicate is blinking.
Okay.
But if they have money, they have computers that they can do like the eye tracing. But I wanted this to be like super simple, like, oh, she needs to communicate. It's required. How? Okay, we're gonna blink. And I loved that.
I love that too. I'm gonna move just a little bit. It's still gonna be talking about book, but it's more about like author in your life. Because I don't, again, like it's gonna be about an hour, so we don't want to like keep you too long. Um, so thank you again for talking with us. But you said you started writing and like thought of the book around like during COVID. So when did you realize that you wanted to write?
I have written many stories throughout my life, but I've given up. I would start writing and then decide that I wasn't interested and I'd drop it. Or I would feel like it wasn't good enough and drop it. And then this story, I don't know, it was like special. I felt it in me that I wanted to write it. And so I started, and it just, like, I felt for the first time, like, excited, like I wanted that story to be told. And that was, even though I've always loved writing, that was the first time that it felt like, really, I am gonna do this. Like, that's my goal.
Amazing. Desi, did you want to? So, you said that you wrote many and dropped it. Do you think that you're gonna pick any of those stories up again one day?
I have two that I'm thinking about. One is like a dystopian sci-fi,
Ooh.
which is not my normal, like, what I would think about writing, but I feel excited about that one too. Now that I have written, I feel more excited and I want to go back to that. And then another one is just like a romance, a sweet romance type of book.
So we found a lot of romance books that have deaf representation, but sci-fi, there's fantasy, there's so little in other genres, but most of them are romance that we found, but very few other genres, which is why we were really excited because this was a psychological thriller kind of book. It wasn't romance. Yes, it had a subplot, yes, but it wasn't the main point of the story. So we were like, oh, it's not romance. Okay, let's recommend it, kind of thing to the readers in the club. Um, so I will say that I've done the same thing. I've written like 4 books and I've read them again and I'm like, oh, my writing has just changed. Since I started, and like, the one I'm working on now, I'm really excited about, and I I think this is going to be it. I will publish this one. But anyways, okay. So, what do you think makes a great story?
It has to make you feel something.
Okay,
I've read many books that are good, but if you don't feel something, if your emotions aren't connected, you're not going to remember it. So if you can connect to your reader and have them feel that emotional connection to your characters, to your book, like, even just to like one sentence, if a person reads it and connects, they're gonna remember your book. And I think that's a good story because people want to read something and feel like, oh, that matches me, I'm in that book.
true. You can. Okay. So, our next question is about you and your writing. Where was the question? 1 minute. Sorry, I lost it. Okay. So, what is your advice on how to write about deaf culture? If the person wants to write about a deaf character and all of this, what would be your advice?
Firstly, you need to talk with deaf people. Even if you don't know any, we have TikTok, we have Instagram. Connect with people, talk with them, watch how deaf people interact because it is not the same as hearing people. It's completely different. So, first, you need to know them. Secondly, deaf sensitivity readers is important because, again, we don't want to read more books about weak, dependent deaf people. We want
Okay.
independent, we want skilled deaf people. So that have someone who's in the community um, test it for you. And thirdly, incorporate the slang. Like,
Yes,
I think that is so fun. Like,
that.
it doesn't have to be boring. Like their humor, their sayings, put that in there because that's what's going to feel like, oh, that matches me. I want that. So just have fun with it. Learn some ASL or, whatever country you're from, that sign language, and have fun with it because the community, the culture, everything is fun. Um, we laugh, we joke, and that should be involved in your writing too.
And I want to add to that, don't make a character deaf just to have a disability in your book. If you're not going to make it authentic and a good representation, but just so you can sell more books, please don't do that. Like that just makes us feel like awful. Like we feel like, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. It just so like I know that Desi has said it before, and you're saying it now. Like, you know, be around the deaf community, get deaf sensitivity readers, reach out. The whole thing, we have social media now. It's easy to find and connect with a person that you could say, hey, do you mind? Like, am I okay saying this or not? Like, my DMs are open to that kind of questions. I know Desi's are too. So, like, yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to, my 2 cents to. I do want to say deaf representation is really important. So make sure it is accurate. If you are writing about it, and just do your research because we have read a few books that are not accurate at all. And they're very questionable, and we're just like, what? Why? That does not match. Like, who wrote this book? So please just don't. Uh, if you really want to be authentic and then meet and interact and learn sign and do get involved in the research, get immersed. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're not in the deaf community, just check that you're using the right words too. I've read some that say like deaf and dumb or hearing impaired and not hard of hearing, or they'll say mute but not in a nice way.
Yeah.
It means like I'm looking down on you, and you just need to like check that the words you're saying are correct because it's the same
100%.
as if you were writing about, people of color. It's the same thing. You want to respect their culture and the words that they use. Deaf culture is the same. We need to be respectful of the words and not be insulting, not offend anyone. It needs to, build that relationship.
Yes.
Period.
Sure, sure. So do you have like an author who inspired some of your writing?
um, Before I loved reading, and then I stopped when I was in my 20s, and then like 3 years ago I started reading again, and one of the first books I picked up was A Man Called Ove,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
Frederick
so
Beard
uh
Bergman? Bergman?
Backman.
Backman. Backman.
Yeah. And I cried like ugly sobbing through that book. And I was like, I want more books that hurt my feelings. I want to be
Okay,
crying.
yes.
And so that is why I now write books that hurt people's feelings. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break your heart. Or maybe
Oh,
I did.
okay. One second. They said my audio, my mic is being weird, so I'm gonna like take that off, which means you might hear some background. For the people who are commenting, is that better? Okay, we're just gonna keep going. So, a question. You said that you love books that make you hurt your feelings. So, do you have a favorite genre of books? Do you want that you want to write about? For example, this is a psychological thriller. Do you want to continue writing more, or do you want to open to other genres?
My top favorites are psychological thriller and dystopian sci-fi. Those two are my favorite. All of my books are those two, and that's what I want to write is just those two.
Did you hear that with your hearing aids?
I didn't hear
Okay,
it.
perfect, perfect. My husband just sneezed really anyway, okay, we're gonna go on.
I have mine just connected. I have it set up
Oh,
to pick
same.
up speech, so you're all
Oh,
good.
oh, that's good. I should have done that. I didn't do the speech only. I just have them connected. That's oh well, it's fine. Whatever. We're gonna continue. They said that the audio is better now, so I guess this is not a good mic. So
Maybe
it's the
it's
first time
dying.
using it. Maybe I did charge it today, but I don't know. It's fine. We'll continue on. We have, I say like what, three more questions or well, four more, two each. Are you okay with that? So four more.
Mhm.
And if maybe one or two questions from the audience, if you have any more questions. Um, okay, so we'll wait for the questions from the audience. But outside of reading and writing, what do you like to do yourself? Okay, wait. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and I was gonna ask this question last, but we're gonna go ahead. So recently you set up the indie author revolution, the IAR. So that's a big part of your life now. Can you give us a little bit more about that since I'm sure that's part of your hobbies right now?
That's my whole life. All of my activities are for that. Yeah, so it started as a small Discord
Yeah.
community and quickly grew. But we have classes to teach you how to write, how to self edit. We try to give things for free that other companies charge for because writing is an expensive activity and we want people to be able to get their dreams without, being poor.
Yeah.
um, because it's very hard. So we try to offer everything or mostly everything for free. Now we offer an assisted self publishing kit that
Hmm.
has like your ISBN in it. It has some classes. It has like a post on our website, and we will do like TikTok ads for you. Um, we try to put that all in there. That one's $17, but everything else we try to do for free. It is set up as a business, but we work like a non-profit because we don't want to like bring in the money. We want to support other writers. So
And
that's
I will
most of my
say,
time and activities is for that.
okay, so I will say, I'm gonna add a little bit because I did join the Discord like right when you started it, and it was like, 50 people, and that was it. And then the next time that I like looked at it, it was like 200, and then I mean, it was fast, like it just blew up like overnight. And now, so on that Discord, you can find like you can search for like beta readers, editors, artists. Like it's an amazing resource, and they are doing it just for the love of supporting like authors, like not for their personal gain, like she said. Like it's an amazing resource, and they're working hard. So as soon as I asked that question, I was like, wait, I don't know if you have time for hobbies because you are just always answering people's questions, or you're trying to write yourself and like offering advice and that, and it is amazing. You're doing really good work. So if you are an author or an artist, or if you're an editor and you're not involved with the IAR, maybe go, because just having that resource there was just like, as soon as you said that you're going to start offering like at a discount for like ISBNs and like the kit, I was just like, wow, that's amazing. And it makes me feel like, okay, I can maybe get, character art now, which your artist is your sister. Like she was the one who drew this. I have I'll be very clear. I actually have contacted her, and I'm about to sign a contract with her on doing art for my book already because I want to see my characters. So,
I understand.
but outside of my brain, like outside of my head, I want to see them like on paper. But so like, and this, like all the little like hidden like eggs in this thing is, I didn't realize it because I got the ebook, or not email, ebook first. And so I didn't really like notice it and see it until I got the book itself, and I was like, whoa, that's really cool. Anyway.
Yes, my sister loves putting the eggs in the art. So she will like ask questions like, what are some hidden things inside your book that we could put in the art? So she did the flowers, the background has the room in it. Like she went
Mhm.
deep
Deep.
with the Easter eggs, and I love it so much.
And
It's better than I expected.
I do remember you did have to make a post that said this is not AI, like, and like you showed like specifically like all the things that your sister like sent you before, and it's very clear. There is a comment that Hope, one of our definitely readers, she said, it's a silly question, but will we see the cat in the next book?
Yes.
Dolly Perkins.
100% we will see the cat again, and maybe a second cat.
Ooh, a second cat. That's
Yes.
that's that's really fun. So on, you can add in some more questions. Do you want to wait? But we're going to go ahead. So in the second book that you're writing right now, we'll see it soon, or is it going to be further in the future?
So recently I paused because I was not feeling excited, but now my sisters have set up a timeline because they require my book. So now I am forced to dive back in and write and finish it so soon. Um, I've been focusing my audiobook for book one.
Okay.
Should be released hopefully next week. We'll see.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
and so now that that's finished, I've been working with the narrator. Like, I've been so busy with that I wasn't focused on writing, but now it's finished and we're in our like last fixings for the audiobook. So now I can focus again on writing. So I am hoping by the fall we will see book two.
Ooh, awesome. That's so exciting. So Hope, who asked the question, she says, if you need some inspiration, she does have a literary cat and she can show you.
I always accept cat pictures, so I
So
accept.
Hope, that means that you can reach out and send her a picture.
Always.
Um, so everyone understand the audiobook will be releasing soon next week,
Next week.
and you can buy this book already. You can buy it now. It is on is this still on Kindle Unlimited? So, okay, it's on
Yep.
Kindle Unlimited. She has physical books with super fun like packaging that she signs, not draws, signs, you know, somewhere. Signs. You can't see it. There it is. She signs and it adds like stickers. Oh, I don't know. They're there. I don't want to move. Stickers and other things in the box, and then you can get just the physical book too, or you can order it on Amazon also. But my preference would be maybe buy from her. Just my personal like, hey, support the author as much as possible. Yes. And Hope said, "You have no idea what you just got into on getting the cat pictures." Okay.
I live with 6 people and we have 6 cats.
Okay, can
So,
I ask a follow-up question? Like, so do you live with, your husband and your sisters? Like, how does that,
yes.
is it like a,
So we have a big house. Me, my husband, my sister, and then her husband. We share the big house, and then we have a casita on the front, and my adopted sister and her husband live in that.
so that's cool. I love that. That's very, very close kin, a close knit family. Excuse me. I assumed kin, not knit, but yes. Um, That's so my sister-in-law has always talked about like setting up a house that way where we can support with like raising the kids like together, and then like we can be there for and support each other. And I feel like, yeah, if you have your own space and you can separate, but that you can still be together and support each other, that's awesome. Like, I wish we went back to that kind of living. So that's really cool. I
Yeah,
might actually ask some questions like later to you, if that's okay.
absolutely. The 3 sisters, we all have health problems, and so it's like we take turns, like who's cooking, who's cleaning, and kind of share that load so it's not so heavy and feel, you know. But I enjoy it. It works for us. The 6 of us are good friends and family, so I enjoy it being all together.
Desi, did you want to ask? So before we close for tonight, you do have a website and or something set up for yourself where people can look for and contact you or whatever?
Yeah, I have my website that has like my books, my t-shirts, my stickers for sale. Uh, and then I have a newsletter
Hmm.
for email that you can sign up for, that I try to give updates on my writing and when the next book, and like my next post is about deaf characters and how to write good deaf
Oh,
characters.
good.
So if you're interested, apply for my newsletter. um,
Yes.
but those two things, my website and my newsletter, those are what I do all of my writing updates on.
And
And here
you,
on TikTok.
yeah, and you can, if you go to, everyone knows where to look, but it's mostly if you go to her link tree, it's AC Toy Books,
Mhm.
right? Is the slash line, but also you can just go to the link in her bio. Yeah, and it's
Yes.
there. Yeah. So do we have any more questions from the audience, or Desi, do you have any last question, or do you have any questions for us? Like,
Hmm. What is your favorite, and don't say mine, that's not what I'm
okay.
looking for, but what's your favorite book with deaf characters in it?
Ooh, I have a few, but I would say one of these two. This one is a romance. I did really like It's the right sign. It was good. It's by Nia Arthurs. It's a hearing deaf relationship, and it was cute. This one, hmm, I don't know. I would have to say maybe. Do you know Kelly Andrew? Her books, The Whispering Dark. She is a hard of hearing author, and she has a hard of hearing character, but it's not really sign. No, it's but she has to learn and try to find her voice too, because she's very timid. And I like in this book that it's very supernatural kind of book, so you don't see that very often with deaf characters. Um, like I said, we have many, many romance, but we don't really have any sci-fi or any supernatural kind of things. I have many different ones, but okay, we'll go to me. Um, okay, so since Desi gave two, I will give two. Um, and we're not going to say your book. That would be it is yes. But recently I read Hunting Sirens by Mary Meacham, and it is a deaf hunter and a mute siren. So it's not ASL, but it is full, like, deaf representation is really good. There is sign in the book. It's just their world's signing, and it's supposed to be off of the Little Mermaid, and like I loved that story when I was younger. But it's just a change, and so I really like that. And she is an indie author, so it was
Mm-hmm.
really cool. So I did recently read that one. If I was gonna do um for romance, I will do Quiet Beautiful Things by Samantha Christie. I changed my mind. So to be clear, like, Samantha Christie did reach out to both of us, and we got to deaf sensitivity read for that book. And so seeing the characters and how she accepted our like feedback was, I think, that made us love the book more, because both of us, like, the relationship of the deaf woman and the hearing man, and they have a young daughter who is language deprived. So, or he does. He learns he has a daughter who's 4, and like the first time he meets her, he realizes that she's deaf and she has no access to to language. Is it is just like you talk about like wanting to like hurt your heart. Um, I can't believe that didn't pop up in my head. I always talk about it, and then you put me on the spot, and yeah, I changed my mind. The right sign, we're gonna put it aside. That one.
I
I
will
am,
add it to my list.
yeah, I am reading right now. Secrets don't stay. Wow, Secrets don't stay buried. Buried by J.D. Mills. No, 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 no. I just started it. I'm not finished yet. But she is a hard of hearing deaf author, and there's a lot, and that is a mystery, like college book. So it's new adult, and so it's not romance, nothing like that. So that was really cool. So I'm excited to see. So far I've read 2 chapters, and it's really good, and the representation is amazing. So I'm curious, is it more like what we read in Definitely Readers? We recently read The Silent House. Is it have like murder and mixed with interpreter and everything, and it's a deaf community? Yeah. Interesting. So,
Never heard of it.
so The Silent House is written by a That one is written by an English interpreter, and she's actually had hearing loss. It like herself, and she is now part of the community. And the deaf like representation is really good, but we both were like, for the interpreter representation, we were just like, okay, that's not how it works. You know, like the situation you're going into before you accept the job. Like there were some parts that I was like, no. Uh, at the same time, we were just like, no. But at the same time, we were like, well, we've never seen this kind of writing before. I mean, most of the characters were deaf or hard of hearing, and they had some who voiced, some who didn't. Like signing was full in the book, and so like that was great representation on like showing you the variances of deaf culture. But the interpreter, I was just like, no.
That's strange.
And she worked, and well, she was an interpreter. She worked with so like deaf ed for like 15 years, and I'm like, okay.
I feel like you would know more how interpreters work.
But if she was only like teaching in deaf ed, maybe not, because she's not interpreting.
True.
Anyways, that's not the point. But we can
That's
talk
so
about books.
interesting.
We can like we always can talk about books. Okay, so I don't see any more questions. If you don't have any for us, so like definitely Readers Book Club, we do have a website is www.definitely, so DEAFINITELY readers.com, and we have a Discord. So the Discord is where we do our chapter like discussions there, and then on live on TikTok right now on Wednesday nights. And we discuss more details about the book. So and then AC Toy, she is amazing. This, if you've not read, go read it now. Amazing. Buy it now. Her website is in her bio. You can get the book there. It gets signed by her if you want that. Audio book will be next week. Yay, if you want that. And you can subscribe to her newsletter. Oh, someone did. Katie says hi, and then someone loves the vibes of this like group chat, which is amazing. I will also upload this to YouTube probably tomorrow, so
I
it'll be
know it's a
available
lot
there.
of work.
Yeah,
We put our lives on YouTube.
thank you.
I'm like, wow, the hours of work.
Yes. Um, And I do want to say thank you so much for your time and for joining us and sitting down with us and chatting about your book. I do know a few times we do try to get together and just life just has popped up. But so thank you for joining and taking that time. We enjoyed the talk with you. And we do really look forward to the second book. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yes. So,
Of course.
if you need like ARC readers,
I will need ARC readers, so I will let you know.
perfect. I would be happy to do that.
Yeah,
Does me
I will
too.
definitely let you know. Right now, I have a beta reader going through it to
Oh,
make sure it's all good. Once that's finished and I make a few more edits, then it's gonna go to my editor, and then we're ready.
oh, I'm so excited. That's so excited. I hope everything works out for you. And again, thank you for joining us and sitting down. And this is really, really fun.
Yeah, I was excited to sit and talk with both of you. One more, I wanted to let everyone know that my ebook is going to be free on Monday.
Oh,
On July 14th, my ebook is free. So if anyone wants a free book, please download.
yes. We will. We'll definitely, if you have like a post, I will be sharing that too. So that's exciting.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much for inviting me to chat. I will keep you updated on book 2, and hopefully we can chat again.
Yeah. Oh, we can always chat.
Perfect.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and we hope you have a wonderful weekend. A happy reading or writing or drawing or whatever you're doing this weekend. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Bye.